Today on Studio G, Faraninos will give you the latest on the typhoon in the Philippines during international news.
And reporter China Green updates us on the research going on at UNLV.
I will also sit down with Kim Lindsay, host of the Jazz Lounge on 91.5 The Source.
All that and more. Right now, it's Studio G. Welcome to this Wednesday edition of Studio G. I'm Christina Davies.
And I'm Shelly Salbito. A student at Coronado High School has been diagnosed with tuberculosis. TB is highly contagious, and the district plans to test anyone who has had close contact with the student. Testing will take place November 19th through the 21st, free of charge with apparent consent. This is the second time this year that the Southern Nevada Health District will have to test for tuberculosis. They are still in the process of testing over 140 babies and their families after an outbreak at Summerlin Hospital.
Tadpole regeneration is happening right here on campus. Reporter China Green has more on the science.
Salamanders can grow a new tail following an injury, but humans can't. UNLV researcher Kelly Tsing wants to know why and is studying South African frogs to identify signals that lead to the repair of damaged or lost body parts.
My research group, we hope to uncover some of the really important signals which are important for initiating regeneration. So signals that tell the tissue, hey, you're missing a part, now you need to regrow. So once we can identify these signals, hopefully we can apply it to, for example, more complex models such as mammals and see if these signals can actually work.
To identify signals in the regenerative process, Tsing generates embryos that grow into tadpoles. She puts them to sleep, chops off their tails, and then studies the result of biochemical or bioelectrical manipulations.
Normally people think of genes or DNA as kind of being one of the signals, but it turns out bioelectrical signals such as ion currents can also play a role in this process.
Tsing says her research may lead to regenerative therapies for damaged or aging tissue in humans, but a lot of work needs to be done before that can happen.
The human body is very, very complex, so we're all working very hard to try to understand all the different signals that are available, and hopefully we can put together all our knowledge and try to identify therapies that might work in the future.
Undergraduate students who work with Tsing in the lab say the opportunity is challenging but rewarding.
You get something you can't get in the typical classroom. You actually get to see biology happening in front of you rather than just memorizing random terms.
And it's interesting because you feel like you're making a difference and you're learning things and you're discovering things.
Dr. Tsing is amazing, actually. She teaches you how to be a scientist. Instead of answering your questions, she wants you to think about it. She wants you to learn how to get the process down so that way you will learn how to use it later for yourself.
Research is also a very important part of educating the students. For example, to do research and understanding how science actually occurs is a very important part for them when they want to go to medical school or become a scientific researcher. This is just with me, right?
For Studio G, I'm China Green. To be a part of the research, contact Kelly Tsing at kelly.tsing@unlv.edu.
UNLV hosted their annual law fair. The event provided an opportunity for pre-law students to meet and mingle with law school representatives and professionals. Reporter Tommy Laren gives us the scoop.
UNLV hosted their annual law fair last Friday in the Student Union Ballroom. The event, co-sponsored by UNLV Pre-Law, the Wilson Advising Center, and the Western Association of Pre-Law Advisors, allowed pre-law students to meet and network with their future law school advisors from around the nation. The law school representatives answered questions and gave advice to the future law students. Ohio State Law School Representative Skylar DeJong was impressed with UNLV students.
I've actually been really impressed with the students that I've met with, and I've been really impressed with how many people have attended the law fair today. So it's been really good to be here. It's been top notch, really. I mean, it's actually compared with some of the greater schools that I've visited.
UNLV pre-law student Katie Sears appreciated the networking opportunity.
This year I had more of a focus coming into it, certain questions I had, certain schools I wanted to visit. My leading school was William Boyd. I'd like to stay in Las Vegas. I actually got firsthand opportunity to speak with a representative and get all my questions, my list of questions answered. And then there were certain other schools I got to go to and just provide a lot of information, great insight on the whole process.
UNLV alum and current Marquette Law student Gerard Garcico offered his advice to future law students.
It's nice to come back here to UNLV and really try to recruit students, not to just Marquette where I go to now, but just to the law school in general, because it is such a great experience, and I think everyone should at least give it a thought to, go to law school.
Event sponsors said this year's fair was the largest to date and yielded the highest turnout yet.
This is the biggest one we've had. The last one we did had 54 schools and we got up to 79 this year. UNLV really stepped up last semester, and it's going to be a school that more people should come to, and then that was shown today.
The most visited table at the event was none other than UNLV's own Boyd Law School.
I think the most exciting thing about Boyd, in addition to being the only law school in the state, is that we are one of the finest law schools in all of the Southwest, in the Mountain West, I suppose I should say. It's a function of our size and the faculty that we have here. And we have a part-time evening program as well, which is really designed for people who are working full-time and don't want to stop in order to get a law degree. We have an excellent faculty, by the way, who's making all of this happen, but I think that's one of the huge strengths that we have as an institution.
UNLV pre-law students were able to set aside their GPAs and LSAT scores and allow their personalities to shine through. The verdict is in. The 2013 Law Fair was a success. For Studio G, I'm Tommy Laren.
UNLV's Boyd Law School ranked 68 out of 194 accredited law schools.
When we come back from the break, Bree Bradley gives us the latest in motorsports. News including the SEMA show that was just in town.
And Faraninos will have your international news. Don't touch that mouse. Studio G will be right back.
The School of Engineering, located on the northwest side of campus, offers a wide variety of classes and activities. The Great Hall inside the Thomas T. Bean Engineering Complex features an array of the school's accomplishments and work, such as their annual cement canoe competition and bridge design competition that select students participate in. Named after Howard Hughes, this school takes learning to new heights.
Way out in the land of the western sun, where the wind blows wild and free, there's a lovely spot, just the only one that means home sweet home to me. Home means Nevada, home means the hills, home means the sage and the pine, right in the heart of the golden west. Home means Nevada to me.
People ask me, why did you start a winery out here in the middle of the desert?
Today on Battleborn, we're going to visit Pahrump, Nevada, where I sat down with Jack Sanders of Sanders Family Winery as he tells us about the history of Nevada's wine country.
When I first came to Nevada, I came here in 1985. We started construction of the very first winery in 1988, and we opened on St. Patrick's Day of 1990.
However, his winery cannot take the full credit in starting the first wineries of Nevada.
Back in pre-Prohibition, there was a fellow here in Pahrump by the name of Frank Pop Buell, actually started the very first winery. And this would have been back in the late 1915, 1920, somewhere around there.
Who would have thought back then that establishing a winery in the middle of the desert would be so successful?
Governor Bryan, who then became our senator, was the governor at the time, and Bob Miller was his lieutenant governor. When Bryan decided to run for the Senate, Bob Miller automatically took over and became the governor. Well, that was just about the time of our 125th birthday. Governor Miller asked if we would consider putting the 125th birthday seal on our wines, which we did. And one of the events that we are going to do is we are going to do another commemorative bottle of wine for the 150th birthday celebration in the state of Nevada.
If you haven't taken a trip to Sanders Family Winery, then you should put it on your list of places to visit in Nevada.
The moment we decided to build a winery, we knew it would be successful. When you come into our property and you drive up the 300-foot driveway with the Italian Tuscan provincial building, it is the most romantic, most beautiful place you've ever been in your life.
So that goes to show that Pahrump is Nevada's wine country. Not only is Sanders Family Wine important to the community, but also to Nevada's history. For Studio G, I'm Katie McLean. Cheers!
Salud!
Thanks, Katie. Make sure you tune in next week to celebrate more of Nevada's history.
In sports news, men's basketball lost their game to UC Santa Barbara last night. The final score was 86-65. Some fans were calling it an embarrassment and left early after UNLV was down 18 points at halftime. The second half didn't get any better. The Rebels gave up 86 points, which is more than they gave up all last season. The Rebels played Nebraska on Friday at the Thomas & Mack Center. Now we'll send it over to Bree Bradley with Trackside.
Good afternoon, race fans, and thanks for tuning into this week's segment of Trackside. As always, I'm Bree Bradley. Las Vegas seemed to turn into one of the largest motorsports headquarters in the blink of an eye this past weekend, hosting some of the largest racing events in the world. The 2013 SEMA show at Las Vegas Convention Center drew some of the biggest names and brands in the automotive industry. SEMA featured educational seminars, product demonstrations, special events such as car shows and stunt driving, as well as networking opportunities for those who attended. But after all the business was said and done, motorsports fans were treated to two races located right here on Las Vegas Strip. One of the races included the final round of the 2013 Global Rallycross, the other, the championship finale for Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks, which of course I attended. Let's take a look at this weekend's event. The final race of the 2013 opening season of Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks would see these off-road vehicles tackle the temporary constructed asphalt course under the lights of the Las Vegas Strip at Caesars Palace. Friday night's SST final would see PJ Jones and Rob McCackeren pace the 30-lap SST final to the green flag. The race's original start would be called back as Ari Lyondike Jr. would crash into Scotty Steele's truck in turn 2. After a complete restart, Jones would lead lap 1, followed by Rob McCackeren and Jarrett Brooks. The next 5 laps, the top 3 would remain the same as Jones extended his lead to nearly 4 truck lengths ahead of Rob McCackeren. On lap 8, Brooks would get a little squirrely into turn 2, allowing Gordon to slip by into the 3rd position. On lap 15, mechanical failure would strike multiple trucks, including championship points leader McCackeren, who would slow on the front stretch, ending his run in the 2nd position. At nearly the exact same time, Gordon and Sheldon Creed would also encounter mechanical failure. Sheldon Creed would end his number 74 MagnaFlow race early, while McCackeren and Gordon would return to the race for valuable championship points. Restarting in the 5th position, Gordon didn't waste any time moving back into the top 3. The front runners would consist of Jones, Brooks, and Gordon for the next 7 laps until Brooks would encounter a mechanical issue, allowing Gordon to overtake the 2nd position. Brooks would continue to drop positions before eventually dropping out of the competition, allowing youngster Scotty Steele to move into a podium position. Robbie Gordon's quest for his 4th win of the 2013 race season would slowly fade away as Jones would go on to capture his first ever Speed Energy Stadium Super Truck win. Gordon would cross the finish line in 2nd, while Steele would earn his first SST podium finish.
This is Bree Bradley, Trackside. I'm here with Scotty Steele, one of the youngest competitors here at SST. Tell me a little bit about your race out there. You had some contact with a lot of the older drivers. What was it like?
We had a lot of contact with the veteran drivers towards the beginning of the race, which shuffled us back. We were just hoping to survive till the end, and we ended up 3rd. And disappointed.
With McCackeren encountering mechanical issues late in the SST final, Gordon would go on to clinch the Speed Energy Stadium Super Truck opening season points championship by just 7 points. Congratulations to Robbie Gordon on his 2013 championship. Be sure to keep an eye out for the 2014 Stadium Super Truck schedule. Well, that's going to do it for today's news in the industry of speed. When we come back, China Green will have the latest in your weekly forecast. Stay with us.
This is your house too.
Located on the campus of UNLV on Brussels Street sits Housel House, the Center for Social Justice. A place where everyone can participate, explore cultural identity, share different experiences, and learn leadership skills. No judgments, you are accepted, you are important, and you are welcomed.
Stand up, speak out, and change the world.
Good afternoon, I'm China Green. I'll be giving you your weather today. So right now at this very moment, we're at 74 degrees, mostly sun, but we do have some clouds creeping in there, so it might get a little bit chilly. And then we have a winds at 5 miles per hour. And for today, we're gonna have a high of 74 and a low of 56. I would say that's probably the most beautiful weather we could ever ask for in Las Vegas. But check this out. In 1938, on November 13th, it was 16 degrees. I don't remember the last time I've seen it be 16 degrees in Las Vegas. And for our current weather, it's pretty nice in our region. And look how warm it is in Santa Barbara, 81. Wow, must be nice over there. But it's cold in Grand Junction at 51. And then as far as we're concerned, we're staying at 74. And for your satellite, not a whole lot going on anywhere in the U.S. It's very clear. We do have a little rain in Idaho, kind of pushing over into Wyoming. But as far as that's about all we can have. And then for tomorrow's forecast, it's very nice across the board. Miami's 79, but Phoenix beats it out at 81 degrees. And for your extended forecast, tomorrow's the highest we're going to see at 72. And then throughout the week, we're going to sit nicely in the 60s. That's all the weather I have for you today. Now let's send it over to Farron in the newsroom with some more information on the typhoon that just hit the Philippines.
Thank you, China. Let's take a look at what made the international headlines this week. It looks like some relief has finally made its way to the Philippines. 5 days after Typhoon Haiyan, tons of food aid has made its way to the devastated cities in the Philippines, including the city of Tacloban. But moving the food to most of the damaged areas is proving to be difficult. Roads are still blocked, making it hard for those distributing the food to make it to starving survivors. The situation is becoming so desperate that 8 people were killed during a stampede on a rice house earlier. Officials are saying the storm affected more than 2 million people, all of which are in need of food and water. The death toll is steadily rising and currently stands at 2,275. Officials are expecting that number to rise to around 10,000 after all are accounted for. And hundreds of people gathered in Canada for a summit focused on an online bullying seminar. The summit featured personal stories of cyberbullying and drew the likes of politicians, social media companies, and even the parents of 17-year-old Canadian teen Rehtaeh Parsons, who took her own life because of cyberbullying earlier this year. This is the first time the parents have heard similar bullying stories from other teens, and the experience was emotional. Many speakers pleaded to companies such as Facebook and Google to do more to prevent cyberbullying from logging on, and companies saying they are listening and attempting to develop online tools to report bullying and to parents and loved ones. And Toronto Mayor Rob Ford is turning his controversy into charity. The mayor, who publicly admitted to smoking crack cocaine last week, teamed up with the United Way for autograph session on Wednesday. Hundreds of people lined up at Toronto City Hall and paid $20 each for a Rob Ford bobblehead for the mayor to sign. Proceeds from the sale helped benefit the United Way, and despite the heavy criticism, Ford is declaring he will not resign, stating, quote, "I am not going anywhere, guaranteed." That's all the international news that we have time for today. I'm Farronino. Stay with us. We'll be back with more Studio G after the break.
The School of Engineering, located on the northwest side of campus, offers a wide variety of classes and activities. The Great Hall inside the Thomas T. Bean Engineering Complex features an array of the school's accomplishments and work, such as their annual cement canoe competition and bridge design competition that select students participate in. Named after Howard Hughes, this school takes learning to new heights.
You drinking tonight?
No, not tonight.
Well, give me a couple beers. You want some?
No, stop.
Come on, just
Stop.
take a drink.
No.
It's just a
I
drink.
have to drive us home.
Okay.
Can you even walk in a straight line?
Yes. Want me to show you?
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Man, what are you talking about? I got this.
Just give me the keys, please.
I ain't drunk though.
Welcome back to Studio G. Today we are here talking to Kim Lindsay, the KUNLV music director and host of the Jazz Lounge. She is actually taking a quick break from her show to be here today. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you, Shelly. It's a pleasure, and thanks for inviting me.
Oh, thank you for being here. So tell me, what do you do here besides being a host?
Yes, my primary job is the music director. I've been music director for 20 years here at KUNV. And as a music director, I'm responsible for the sound of the station. I'm responsible also for dealing with record labels and artists, and I'm the gateway, if you will, for music for the station.
So tell me about your show, The Jazz Lounge.
Thank you for asking, Shelly. We play now contemporary jazz in our day parts. So from 7:30 in the morning until 6 in the evening, you'll hear contemporary jazz artists like Bob James, Yellow Jackets, Spyro Gyra. This is a couple. And overnight, we play straight ahead, the traditional jazz.
Okay, so what's your favorite part about being a radio personality?
It's my connection to music. It's innate in me. I enjoy the music. I enjoy the history of the music. And also we interact obviously in the community, which is we're a public radio station. So a college public radio station. So we're the foundation for keeping this type of music alive because it lives on public radio.
Right. So tell me, how did you get into music? Was that like your first dream to be a radio host?
No, actually, Shelly, I graduated from Columbia School of Broadcasting in '84, and with my family then I moved here in '88. And then I was referred to UNLV in 1989. I've been here 24 years with the station. And I went through their training process and I had an opportunity. Had an opportunity to go on the air, and then from there it was I was asked to be the music director, and it just progressed, and my involvement with the station just advanced, and more opportunities opened for me.
So why did you choose jazz?
Familiar with the genre. It was what the station was offering at the time, and that's the format that primary format for the station. And then I became familiar. I knew a few artists, and then I went on to learn and just do a lot of research and just delve into the genre.
Okay, so one last question. What do you want aspiring, maybe like radio hosts or broadcasters to know?
That it takes a lot of studying and research to find a mentor is probably the best thing that you can do. Find someone, get up under their wing, and I'm still learning. I have people who mentor me still. So it's important, and know the industry is changing, obviously, from the time that I started. And there's a lot of great help, but just ask for someone to show you the ropes and what's really going on behind the scenes in radio, because there's a lot of different elements, and you can't get enough knowledge, right?
Oh, yes, and it's always great to have a mentor, especially during college.
Yes, absolutely, and that's what we do, and we're so proud to be working with the students. Yes, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for being
Thank you
here,
for inviting
Kim.
me. Thank you.
We'll be right back for more Studio G after this break.
Collegiate DECA promotes personal and professional development through competitive events, community involvement, and leadership development.
I joined DECA because I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. So I got to meet people, network, and definitely work on my public speaking.
To join DECA, it's a very simple process. You have to pay a $25 membership fee. You can either come to our next meeting, our website, which is unlvdeca.co.vu.
We're open to all majors who are interested in business, finance, or hospitality-related fields.
It's that time of year again where stores are filled with holiday decor. And with the holidays right around the corner, retail and department stores are hiring for the season. Reporter Elena Ledbetter brings us more.
'Tis the season for retailers and department stores to hire new seasonal employees, but for some, taking a seasonal job is far more meaningful than just making an extra buck.
When I was a kid, my grandmother would come here first, like whenever she wanted anything, especially holidays, because she was the one that would be running around in her wheelchair, ironically enough, trying to decorate before everybody else.
Brittany Banks, a Target seasonal employee, chose to work at Target during the holidays because it reminds her of her grandmother. According to a new employment report, stores nationwide such as Target, Kohl's, Macy's, Walmart, and others plan to hire about 700,000 employees collectively between October and December. With that amount of new employees, Target store team leader Chris Lambiras sees this time of year as a boost in consumer confidence and will help Nevada's high unemployment rate and poor economy.
So all the stores have the hiring decals. It's online through social media. So I think as people see that, oh wow, Target's hiring, they're doing well, it kind of puts more money back into the economy, which could help everyone win. So.
During this time of year, Target's customers increase by 30 to 50%, so Lambiras hired 60 seasonal employees at his Target location and found schedules that fit best for his team members.
Oftentimes you'll see people hire and, well, you have to work this shift, you have to work that, and we really try to work with the team member to find what works for them while still satisfying the business needs.
As for Banks, she encourages all who love the holidays to take a job during the holiday season.
All the kids that don't think they need a seasonal job or they think it's overrated, it's like, I'd rather stay at home. It's like, I would rather them take the chance and get something to learn instead of sitting there not knowing what to do.
Reporting for Studio G, I'm Elena Ledbetter.
Holiday hiring will end towards the end of November, right before Black Friday. If you are interested in working for Target, you can drop into any store to apply or go online at target.com/careers.
Apple may want to thank 15-year-old Becca Gorman for getting them out of a potential lawsuit. Becca was writing an essay on gay rights for class when she looked up the word gay in her Apple dictionary on her laptop. She was startled to read what the definition said.
The first two were normal. They were like happy and then attracted to one's own sex. And then the third one was informal, stupid, foolish.
Becca says that the last definition was insulting and that she couldn't believe that it would even be in there. She says the topic hits close to home for her as she is a daughter of 2 lesbian parents. She was bothered by how insensitive Apple was to have such a definition. She didn't waste any time and immediately wrote a letter to Apple's CEO Tim Cook.
I told him that I found the definition horrifying and that I'm sure he did too, being a gay-friendly company.
Apple responded to her letter within minutes by calling her house phone and discussing the situation. Becca's parents are proud of what she has done and expresses that they always wanted themselves and their children to be proud of who they are and stick up for what is right. Becca didn't press any charges.
Well, that's all the news we have for you on this edition of Studio G. I'm Christina Davies.
And I'm Shelly Salvito. Have a wonderful Wednesday, Las Vegas.